Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. My name is Ahmed, and today's topic is going to be how to be successful, or at least if you are trying to figure out which direction to go in life in general. I am basically gonna give you my perspective and how I have taken and what things I have done to be successful, and I hope you guys can get some, I guess, idea out of it. Again, I am not a guru, neither do I claim to be one. I think of me as fellow friend, and just like to share my thoughts, and hopefully you guys would be commenting and you guys would be letting me know what are the things you are doing in your life, how to be able to be successful. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you a story. Out of that story, I am gonna tell you basically a little analysis of it. Hopefully that's the idea. And the story is about me. So when I first came to America, I was about 12 years old. I came with my family, of course, but I didn't know kind of like what steps to take. And I really wanted to be successful, but at that time in my life, I did not understood what it means to be successful. I thought if I become rich, I am successful. But of course, as a child and now I'm an adult, right? The huge difference is that being successful has a different meaning. It gets divided into different categories. Money is one category, then you have education, so having friend to having good relationship with your family and so on and so forth. So basically when I came to America, of course I went to middle school and then I went to high school. I got my very first job at McDonald's. The thing that I learned at that job was how to do not good customer service, but how to handle very angry customer, or let's say people who would come 3 times a day every single day and didn't know what was in their cheeseburger. All right, so for me, college was the kind of only way, because I did not have had access to a lot of mentors, neither did I knew where to go get them, and obviously I had big language barrier. So what I decided to do basically right after high school was I went to college, right? I went to community college. I got my associate degree. Then after my associate, I transferred to get my bachelor degree. Right after that, I got my master's degree. I did not took a break, and then I took about a year break, and then a year or two, I think. And then now I am doing my master's, and I'm about, I would say, in about 70% done. I have 30 more percent. It's gonna take me another year. I am doing part-time. So I'm gonna break down what has changed as so far along the journey. I was obviously in high school, right? I didn't know how to make money, and I wanted my very first job. I got it because my brother was kind of working there, so he kind of got me the job. And when I actually had my associate degree, before that I used to work retail. After that, right after associate, I looked it up in Craigslist to basically find an IT job, because my major was in IT. Funny story how I got in IT is I took the introductory IT class, and that my friend actually ended up doing most of the work, but it was so easy for me because that time I was really struggling to how to kind of write. I still struggle some days, but I was never a writer, more of a talker, I guess. So that being said, I found IT to be easy, so that's why I kind of chose IT to be major. And also, that point, as I was talking to other people, you could actually find a job, and I did not have to kind of work in basically in retail. I didn't want it to. So that's the route I took. For that, as I took my first job in IT, basically it was $15 an hour, but what I did get was a clearance out of it. So I'm in DC area, Washington DC, right? In this area, basically clearance means everything, especially for if you want to work for federal government as a contractor. So in about 2 years, less than 2 years, I get basically laid off. I just sucked at that job, and I guess and then they were about to actually lose the contract, so they started letting go. So I was let go, right? So my first job wasn't so I didn't professional, somewhat I would call it. I didn't really understood, but what out of that, what I came out was the very next job that I got was actually doubled my salary. I actually got offered $30 an hour, and with a full benefit and full time, versus that old job was part time. So that lasted about a year, because it was about a year a contract, and then I continued. So today, right, I am well above 100K mark. The reason I'm sharing is that in IT or any field that you are in, right, you might have your very first job. That might not, right, something you're not like or not good at it, and don't give up, right? Just continue, just keep at it, right? And then the way I was able to be successful was I realized that I had a huge gap what my college taught me, my IT classes, versus what the industry was demanding. I subscribed to a lot of like Pluralsight, Udemy, and YouTube's. I watched and I even read a lot of books in a lot of areas, so that I could be industry proficient, right? Now I am, but at that point I wanted to be basically. So I basically had no life almost, and no friend. So yeah, that's kind of how I did it. Basically, just got a bunch of knowledge by reading, mostly watching, because IT is very much into like you have to listen long, boring lectures. But my strategy was basically go to college, get a job, and from the job, I basically from the job I get a salary, and then from that I am able to save enough money and continue my job. Now that was, I have never thought of that to be successful, but now the way I am looking at as my new success is being able to have financial independence and having, I guess, being able to travel the world and having health, right? Actually, over the years, because I got so much into it, I realized that I gained a lot of weight, and I was eating junk food. Junk food tastes really good. I'm kind of addicted to junk food, but that's another story. So yeah, working behind a desk, I guess that has one fault, right? And long hours. So that's kind of how I did it. I went to college, I got job, and then I continued getting newer job. If I got fired or if I quit, I always went for the next job, and I took a bunch of certification. I networked with people through LinkedIn, through the classes that I took, all the people, what they were doing, and how can I, just talking to people, talking to professor, what's going on in the market. And then I am now basically doing what I'm doing now is basically YouTubing and basically making content, and obviously I have a job, but I'm also investing my money. The reason I'm investing is because, right, you have to have a preservation of your wealth, any money that you make. Otherwise, you make this much money and it's just sitting there doing nothing, and it's not really making. Then you're losing by inflation. But wealth preservation, either you're investing in stocks or real estate or something else, right? Based on how much knowledge you have. So that's how I've been successful. And obviously, my next success story is to be debt free, especially student loan. And I had to take a student loan because I was not that A student, so I could never get a scholarship. But everybody has their own struggle in life. And one piece of advice that I'm gonna give you guys is keep at it. Don't give up. There's always light if at the end of the tunnel. And if anything comes out, just don't put your head down. Just keep on going. Thank you guys. I hope this helps.